and welcome to another Confessions of a Preacher's Son. I'm son of a preacher, also known as Tom, and today we are looking, I wanted to show you my kind of how I organise my files, because, by files I mean tracks, of course, because before I met this person called Mike Monday, my tracks were all over the place. Like, I'm talking about where on your computer. Numerous different versions. It would you wouldn't even know what stage the track was at. It was just a file name. For example, if you have a look here, look at this. This is just a mess. These are all actual tracks or ideas, and you wouldn't even know which stage you kind of at with each one. Is one an idea? Are you mixing one? Or, are you just generating ideas? You don't really have a clue. You've got to kind of memorize it, and then you only end up working on kind of like one or two things. So this is the problem. So this, thankfully, as I mentioned, I met this, music guru called Mike Monday, and he has got he uses Trello to organize all his files, tracks, etc., and you can see which stage each one is at. And you can get a free copy of it off the website, which I'll put in the show notes down below. Yes, so it goes from this, which is an absolute mess, to something like this. So these are all Trello boards. Now you can get Trello for free. But you can pay for a version where you can add bigger attachments to it. So these are all different boards with different kind of projects. So you've got, I've got my targets on here, but I've got an album I'm currently making. But I've got previous albums as well, like Before the Change EP, and other album ideas. So they're at different stages. Pastimes, that was one of my albums that I released. So, if we go in and let's have a look. Is there much in here? Yeah, it's just got all these are all the finished tracks that I eventually released on my album. So there we go. That's where everything is. But if we want to go current, so let's go back to boards. So I'll show you, this is the one I first started off with. So it looks mental, but it's actually not. So in essence, you have a kind of sketchbook where all your ideas are. Now an idea could be anything. It could be literally a melody, a chord progression, just even a vocal. Loads of ideas that you kind of just splurge and get out of your system, record it somewhere, and then you can get somewhere to keep it. So that's called a sketchbook. Now I've obviously added some columns, but the fundamentals you can see on his website. So in fact, I'll show you the template. So this one's mine. In fact, let's go and see it now. Why not? So there we go. This is the one you can get. I've added something here for myself, but this is the one you can get. And in essence, it tells you exactly where everything goes. So you've got an ideas column, which is a kind of, is what it says on the tin. Everything is on there that you want to jot down or make a note of. Any ideas you have for a track or a vocal or melody or anything, you can put it all in there. Then you've got the splurge. So splurge is, as I mentioned, just an idea. It could be anything from like 2 seconds long to even a 5-minute song. Depends if you were just in flow and it just came out. But it can be anything you like and put it in there. A sketchbook is where you hold all these ideas, and what Mike would say, it's not a bin, it's just a place to store all these ideas. And then you go through the stages of working out what the track wants to be. So you've got discovery, so you're just messing around with it, kind of discovering what the track is about, what's the main thing about it. And then drafting is kind of a rough draft, which is obviously a kind of a rough arrangement for the track. And then done calendar time, I think I added that myself, is... Well, no, actually, no, it's still in there. It's called done, but I've changed it to done calendar time. So this is where it stays for however long so that you can gain perspective on it. So, as in, when you're working on a track, ideally not day in, day out, you want to have some time away from it, work on other stuff, come back to it, because your opinion is always changing. So this is where it kind of gets stored, and then, but you need to make a decision on it, whether you want to release it or not. And then, I've got misspelling. And then here, preparation. Right, yeah, I will do that. This is release prep, so this is getting it ready for release. Bells and whistles, mixing, etc. So, and then obviously I've got you've got release or ready. Well, I don't know. Did I add? I don't know if I added this. I might have added it myself. But you've got ready for release, as in everything's done. It just needs to be released. And then you've got the released column here, which is it's out in the world. You've got to say goodbye to it. So that is the template that you can get, as I said, off Mike's website. But my version, let's have a look at this. So before I was using this, I had stuff like thousands of ideas like this, and it was just horrendous. It would take you so long to work out where you are at with it that you'd probably lose the kind of groove and the mood that you want to get into. So this is so I've changed from that. So I still kind of have that, but to store the files, which incidentally I use on Dropbox. So I would recommend that, because not only is it backed up, but you can access it anywhere on any computer. So I would recommend the paid Dropbox. So if we go back to mine, we've got, if we actually do the filters, you'll see how many, let's go, no dates. Oh yeah, great. 2,141 cards. So they're all ideas, but they can be finished tracks that I didn't want to release. But that is an awful lot. It just keeps on going and keeps on going. So, but I know because of these markers, labels, these labels relate to where in the process it's up to. So you can come back to it, and it's really handy for where, for example, this one's in the sketchbook, but I was doing some discovery on it. So it's more than an idea, but I was working out what to do with it. And then you've got this one, piece going. Can't really remember what's that like. So that's a full track, as you can see here. Let's see how this going. So this is a full track, but I'm not released it. I made a decision about it to not release it. So that's where it went back into the sketchbook. And then one day I might listen to it and go, yeah, that's actually quite good. Or, what I was thinking, I might remix. If I bounced out some of the stems, I could remix my own tracks. So that is just where everything goes. And then you've got, release preparation, what I spoke about, getting ready for mixing. Got these on an earlier video. You would have seen me listening, I think in my first video, me listening to these tracks going, are they actually any good, or am I any good? But they are actually not too bad. So I'm getting them ready to release, different stages of mixing, etc. So that is pretty good. So without this, without fail, this pretty much saved everything for me. I'm a visual person. I need to see what's going on and where I'm up to with things. Files, that doesn't do me any favors. That just makes me anxious, because you've got so much to do. You don't know where you're up to, and then you've got all the different copies in there. Version 1, version 2, version 3, absolute nightmare. Whereas with Trello, you can literally put in all the copies and listen to them, all the different ones here. Plus you've got checklists. Everything is in one place. It's very, very satisfying for someone like me. So I would highly recommend getting your own version of this from Mike's website. So it is free, and as I said, that'll be in the show notes below. But that is, this changed my music life unbelievably. Before this, mess. So get yourself, if you are a music producer, I mean, you could use this for many things actually, idea generation or of anything. They're all the same kind of principles. But yeah, if you are one, get yourself a copy. And yeah, if you like this video, subscribe. Or if you've got any different ways of sorting, how you sort your files and your tracks, etc., to see where they're up to, put it in the comments. I want to know, just in case, am I missing out on something? So that would be really good. But apart from that, I better get on with some music. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.